Democratic socialism gaining leeway here in New York, and as socialist ideas begin to sweep the nation, Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom is calling to unify all spectrums of the left to keep Democrats in office.
You know, when I ran for mayor, just for what it's worth, I ran against a member of the Green Party, which was, had aspects of the DSA that we know it today. There's so many aspects of the debates and arguments today that are just deeply familiar, and I think it's a very healthy thing. I'm one of those Democrats that deeply believes in addition, not division. And so I want a Big Ten party. I want to win.
Our next guest has worked on dozens of Democratic Socialist campaigns and the co-chairs of the New York City DSA, the largest chapter of the Democratic Socialists in America. Grace Mausser joins us now. Grace, thank you for being here. And you heard Gavin Newsom there. I want to start with the remarkable success that Democratic Socialist candidates have had, not just here in New York, but across the nation, in Pennsylvania and Colorado and elsewhere. But when you hear establishment Democrats and others like Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer here in New York, it seems that you guys don't have room for them in your future.
I would argue the opposite in many ways. Minority Leader Jeffries and other pundits who have made these comments treat us as a hostile force. But the reality is that we're very serious about winning, which is why we often run in Democratic primaries. But we're also very serious about governing. And that means creating allyships, creating partnerships, building coalition with people who are excited about the type of economic populism that we put forward, and building allies like perhaps Governor Newsom, if he's interested in things like universal health care, reduced cost child care, affordable housing. These are things that we want to do because our primary goal is improving American lives. But
ultimately, at the foundation, there are so many Americans that hear the word socialism and they're afraid of that, Grace, because you have led Americans to believe that there's some effort to transform capitalism into socialism, to move from individualism to collectivism. Is that the goal?
So many people, even those who might not yet identify as a socialist or are scared of socialism as a concept, understand that what's happening in our economy now is not working for them. They can't afford their house. They can't afford childcare. They can't afford education.
But they're trying to get to the American dream, even if they're struggling. And socialism's platform is contrary to the American dream, to individual opportunity, is it not?
In many ways, I think we're trying to look back at what has worked in America's past, but also look at what has been successful in other countries. So things like what President Roosevelt put forward with the New Deal.
But socialism, Grace, has never worked, not in the Soviet Union, in Venezuela, elsewhere. Let me get to this quickly, because this conversation could go on for a very long time, because I don't agree that socialism is going to help anyone in the American dream. However, we're hearing reports that ultimately there's a platform, a new platform that the DSA has that would include eliminating the Senate, replacing the president and Supreme Court with an executive and judiciary chosen by and subordinate to a Congress, amnesty for all illegal immigrants, and defunding the Department of War. Is that the platform?
Well, many Americans understand that the democracy that we have right now isn't working for them. I don't think our platform would get rid of the president, but it would replace the Electoral College, which when Americans, I think, first understand it in their high school government classes, they see that, oh, wait, my vote isn't directly electing the president.
But would you, let me get this in, because we only got a few seconds left. Do you really believe in open borders and not having deportations? That's just incredibly contrary to law enforcement and security.
America has a really long history of welcoming working class immigrants. My grandmother and her mother came through Ellis Island and worked from Germany and worked as seamstresses. I mean, we believe that
criminal illegal aliens in the country, don't they need to be removed?
We believe that demilitarizing the border, that violent oppression of working class immigrants who come here, is not something that most Americans want. And I think the backlash to President Trump's policies really show that.
Grace, we've got to leave it there. Thank you for coming on. We hope you will come back and continue to talk to us, because it's clear that the DSA is attracting a lot of voters. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.